Welcome to today's show. I am Brenda Power, Medicine Woman. So today, as Brenda Power Medicine Woman, I want you to understand that I do spiritual insights. And as I channel those energies, it is to help teach you the different ways of living, tools to help you heal so that you can heal instead of deal and resolve to evolve. That's what we're going to do. So you may notice something new in my studio, and we will get to that. A lot of new energies are coming in. Hi, everybody. Some of you already paid for a reading. Yep, you will be first on the list when we go. I have one more show tomorrow. And then I will be cutting out Facebook, or I should say videos for a while. And the main reason is because, I gotta fix this. The main reason is because my husband is, he got time off from work. And that means because you work at home, you make your choice. So part of me being on vacation with my husband is to not be on the computer. So, say hello to Charlie. And oh, yes, please. Hit all the love and like buttons apparently many times. That helps with the ratings. Comment galore. And then the time when it comes to doing the individual 1 minute reads, then, I'll ask so that I can just go through it quickly and have people respond. That's fine. But anyway, yeah, we want to get this message out there. Sharing groups, that helps. Again, this camera on YouTube looks like it's crooked. I have no idea why. I had to move my chakra thing over this way because Charlie Buddy here was thought it was dinner or play a toy. Oh, a toy. I come in here, he's got all chewing. Hi, Ma. He does say hello. I think if he can get through this and I may do it tomorrow, I don't know. Then he may be part of the show, which is good. And it's amazing what a good bra can do. You have no idea how thin you really are until you get one that lifts and separates. I got here, never got a bra. It's been 5 years, and I wondered why I wasn't looking like losing weight. Jeez. And then so I finally decided, okay, that's it. And I did. I'm looking around going, God, the things you don't know, you need to know that you finally figured out. You're like, His name's Charles. Now, we always think he's posh, and so my eyes are turning red. Oh, my God, this is bizarre. Okay, we'll talk about new energies in a minute. That's freaking. Okay, but anyways, we always think he's posh. So we go, yes, I'm Charles Sebastian Smythe, Bolt Cutter Power, the third. I wish you'd talk and say hello. Someday we're going to have a good rapport, and you'll get to hear him speak. So, anyways, new energies. Okay, so I have the barometric pressure that's bothering me. Then there's new energies of the 5D that's come in. Here's the fascinating thing. How will you assimilate? How will you interpret it? Will you think it's something scary, attachments? Will the old fears define it for you? Just let me explain. For the simple fact that, here we go. Hold on just a second. My husband, you got the volume up way too loud, and I can hear myself echoing as I'm doing the show. So turn the volume down just a little so that I can do my show. Thank you, honey. He'll get that in just a minute. So, all of a sudden, okay, yes, these new energies. Remember, we were in the involution process. What does that even mean? Oh, I can hear myself talk to him. Let's see if he does it. Anyway, the new volume, the new sound, the new frequencies, all they are is that you have these musical notes. You know musical notes, you play a piano, those kind of musical notes, those are frequencies. And We used to hear them in a certain way. Colors. We've seen colors. We're going to see colors in a different way. Our sensory system is remembering what it can do. Some people are going to be able to see smells. That was something I picked up a couple of weeks ago. It was like, as I'm doing readings, I'm like, I'm seeing the smell of a fungus or this or that. And I was like, And the important part of this is that colors are going to get brighter, but will you be able to interpret them? Can your brain accept the new reality? Your brain is the one that determines whether you reject or accept it, resist or persist it. New energies coming in. Are you going to label it with the old fears? Are you going to see it through ego, or are you going to allow it through your spirit? Okay. This is so important because as I'm going through all of these different energy changes, the barometric pressure seems to be really affecting me. Now, here's the weird part. I can feel the hurricane Doreen near the United States. And I don't know if it's because I had my roots were from the United States, but it's really affecting me. And then the winds, because I can hear the winds change, and that's affecting me. Here, last night I had trouble sleeping. All my meridians, every 2 hours a meridian will kick in. So from like 7 to 9 will be stomach, and 3 to 5 is lung, 1 to 3 is liver. And the thing is that every 2 hours, my body was like going, oh, we're not adjusting to these new energies. And so a whole new physical symptom will appear. One of the physical symptoms was that my heart started racing. And it's like, wait, what? No, I could have interpreted it many other ways. Then all of a sudden, my body started to itch. And I'm like, did it something I ate? What's going on? The spirit says, no, you're not adjusting very well. So your body's program, the subconscious mind, sees this as the enemy. So that means I've had some form of attachment to this frequency before the involution process. So some of you are waking up thinking that you're being attacked by attachments, freaky, scary stuff. I call goobers because it makes it easier to lump it all into one. Now you can break it down in different categories. But what we're doing is returning to love. What you've got to understand about that is, how do you know what love is? By what it's not. And if we get stuck on what it's not, we're going to be stuck on it so much that we're going to stare at the not, that when love does present itself, we will have all these heart walls that'll say, no, I reject that because I ain't doing that again. Or you've been trained by the fear so much so that you're like The Handmaiden. If you have watched the TV series The Handmaiden on Stan, one of the things that I've noticed is that my body is going, oh yeah, I know what it's like to be controlled by that paradigm of that negative influence. Now, we say it has to do with that men are in control over women. Now, you can look at life and say it's about man being in control over woman, but break it down to energies because that's all you are. This is a grand illusion. The energies of yin and yang. Energies of yin and yang are meant to balance. No matter if they're out of balance, they're supposed to help keep each other in sync. But we take and separate them, and then we make them lofty. We create a hierarchy. Instead of balancing, we separate. The problem with that is that we have the involution process. We have put up so many different ways that our brain, ego-wise, says, oh my gosh, this is how we feel. This is fearful. We can't have this happen again. No, Charlie. Sorry, I don't want him tearing down my scenery. So there's all of these different things that occur, and it's all of these fearful things. We're constantly on guard watching. We have this immune system that listens to the environment. And these new energies that are coming in, we may end up deciding that we can't understand them, because how we are understanding them is based on negative past. The negative past, how do you want to put it? Is all the bad experiences and how we've tried to cope, handle, deal, and pacify. Why I know I'm supposed to be here more and more today is to help you understand you have tools that helps you stop just coping. Okay, stop just managing, pacifying. These are tools that will actually help you succeed in understanding all that old stuff. Going back to, well, why did God have somebody rape me? Because again, people say, oh, it's God's fault. Because the universe is responding to your energies. Well, then now you're saying it's my fault. You have to get out of ego. You have to understand, to find out what love is, you have to find out what it's not. But if you're still stuck on the not, then you're never going to let go of that crappy experience. And then it owns you. And then you're forever repeating and trying to dig your way out of that hole or push that rock up that mountain. So if you hold on to pain and suffering, understand that it is a program. Okay, if it's happening once and you learn to process it through, great. But if it is something that's so shocking to your brain and your brain says, no, thank you. What just happened? Well, I can't believe this. Listen to the words, because your brain and your body is telling you that you're not accepting. Okay, so now over time, you're trying everything you can to figure out this, to get this energy, whether because it feels something that's been stolen, pushed on you. Remember, it's just energy. You have to think about this. And that's why I love doing the job I do, because you can then break it down even further about helping a person let their sensory system let it go. Okay. And it's like, what? No. Okay. So emotions that are in the body are of the body. And those emotions are the ones we are attached to. There's all of these different emotions. Why do you choose just a few? Okay. The body says, oh, it happened from this time, from the time of conception up to the age of 7. These are all new experiences. And then you collect to add on to that. And so then you have a collection that adds to the experiences. And then you have these whole different rays of proof that, see, this shit happened to me. Don't take my shit away, because this proves that it helps you build your story, but it's the sculpting of how to let it go, to surrender. But what does that even frickin' mean? And that means understanding that the emotions that you've had are telling you that it's still active, that your life force. So you accepted, you gave your life force by believing in it. Okay, your life force is your willpower as well, and you don't want to let it go. Whenever you're upset, did you ever learn how to process? No, you're just like, ooh, you got to bitch about it, or you got to gather your minions so that you can attack, or you can have revenge. But like when you're deprived, you focus on deprived, and then you see what you don't have. And then when you get attacked, you feel violated, and you feel that energy that you can never feel like you can get back. And all of these different things, but they can be resolved out of the body. That's the important part. It can be resolved so you can evolve from it. Now, understand those emotions, when they start to go off frequency and they continue the frequency, guess what happens? You think. Okay? Those thoughts that come into play are based on an emotion that's vibrating, which I call chemical peptides. You understand? If you calm down that emotion, that chemical peptide, those thoughts about that issue will disappear. This is why a memory can be a memory. Now, the new energies that are coming in, they're addressing some really old, ancient stuff about ourselves. What do I mean by that? We know, we've heard of the word Atlantis and Lemurian. We've heard of the angel wars. We've heard of dragons. We've heard of folklores. We've heard of all different kind of culture differences and gods and goddesses and different things that are happening. And each of those existed to some degree in the paradigm, and whatever your soul said, it had to unfold. Okay? We just think, oh, we're human and we just came to Earth. Remember, you're endless. Anything and all things are possible. You had to find out what love wasn't. And again, this is the era and the time to heal this. So these new energies that are coming in, your body is going to say, oh my God, we're still attached to a program. Ah! And then the soul, excuse me, Charlie, the soul will say, can you heal this now? But we don't know that because we can't listen. We've never been taught to listen. Mm-hmm. And when time goes by, you're like, okay, I can deal with this because the thoughts have calmed down, but the emotion is now deeply buried. Time heals, right? No, it doesn't. It's just that you found a way to cope, handle, deal, pacify. Whether it's to bury it, to pull it out, to ignore it, to cover it up with drugs, alcohol, sex, TV, food, anything, because when you understand addiction, it is chasing that high. What is the high? The high is that moment when everything is okay. Sanity is stopped. The emotions have subsided. The thoughts have calmed down. And you feel like you've been complete. You feel love. You got secure and you got safety and stability. And those are the things that our survival part of us wants. But then the moment, whatever it was that we used to take care of the problem, see, the alcohol and stuff like this is not the problem. It's the experiences that created those emotions that is the problem. And that's what our job is to help you with mental health. It's help you with emotions, help you understand to all of this. Again, comment. I want to hear comments. I want to read more comments about things I'm talking about because Spirit says I need to do more interaction. So that's what we're going to do. Share away. This helps tremendously. Now, so these new energies, I've had people go, oh my God, something's wrong with me. I think I'm being attacked. And when I go to check, it's not as we see it. It is how we have remembered it in our past life based on, have you ever seen a rope? Now, just imagine, have you ever seen a snake? Now, you're walking down the road, the light's kind of off, and you see this S-looking shape because you know what a letter S looks like. You know what a shape of a snake looks like. And all of a sudden you see it in the middle of the road, you'll start screaming that it's a snake. And then all of a sudden your eyes, oh, it's a rope. Wasn't that silly of me? We've seen animals that end up being paper bags. I mean, because you're trying to drive and what is that? Your brain, and part of your awakening, in the samadhi part of awakening, it is when you have, how do we want to put this? When you're taught what something is, you'll never see it for yourself or ever see it again because you've been taught that. And you have a file. And when you need to unsee certain things, you have to stop holding on to this picture, this image in this file, because when you do this, you're holding it like this and you can't see anything else. When you begin to awaken and you start to build your file system, you have to let go of all the knowledge that you've accumulated and re-educate yourself. So you have to uncondition your conditioning. And most of the time you have to erase yourself. It has nothing to do with whether you had bad parents or not. Do you understand? No blaming. It is how we as a soul chose to unfold our past, whether it's a past life, genetic life, whatever, but it's unfolding. And it can only unfold by marker points. So if, let's say you're inside the womb and a past life of 100 years ago, you haven't resolved something, comes up when you're 4 months inside the womb. Okay? You get to, you're designing, every time you write your soul contract, you get to design your choices. So then along comes at birth. And people say, well, why does bad things happen? And you got to remember, it's not about blaming, it's about understanding. And so it's the way the soul needs to view a perspective. But most people come to me and they just can't let go. And it's because the emotions are tied. Now you think, okay, fine, let me just remove the emotion, one emotion. No, because there is, all things considered, you have history. Now the 5Ds coming in, we're raising our frequency, which means we're going to have to see things, hear things, smell things, taste things differently for the better. But we have to let go of all the old ties and surrender to that hell, that ooh, and the because my eating has been completely different ever since this 5D energy has been coming in. It's like, whoa, okay. But last night was the night from hell, because my body, every 2 hours, like I said, those meridians kick in. My body was doing a whole new reaction. I'm like, what the hell? I've got itches, I got pain and all this. And I'm like, and I thought I was taking someone on, and I thought I was possessed. And Spirit says, shh, your energies and your chakras are off. Your meridians are running backwards. You can't get them. I'm like, okay, so I got to just understand this is happening. And it's hard to do when you're sleeping. Had I forced myself to wake up and just took care of it, then it would have been fine. But no, I was going through it as I'm sleeping. These new energies, you're going to label them based on old fears. And your soul is asking you to start believing in trust and faith. You need to put yourself go inward. You need to connect with your heart so you can let go down all those freaking walls and let love in. Okay? That means you're going to have to practice remembering love. Now, here's the funny part is when you think of Harry Potter and they're talking about you have to think of pleasant things, loving things. And it's like, well, how do you do that? Okay? Now, if you're doing a magic spell and you can't get there, understand what I understand now, because I was never really into that. But I have to develop my heart so I can move past these fears and these walls that I label that this energy is. So you have to practice it like a seed, and it grows up, and then it's like a flower, and then it blossoms. So you got to really be able to, it's like when you know that your body can spontaneously start producing this love. And what it does is it's the energy that the heart produces, which then expands out so we can connect up with the other love in this world so that we can shift consciousness. You have to start practicing love in your heart. And you get it really going. And that when you finally do and you start connecting it with your mind, then all of a sudden your mind and your heart create this bond that just allows you to change. Now, if your mind can get the switch with the heart at the same time, your physical symptoms will start to disappear. Every time you have let go of certain negative emotions and you increased it with love, you're going to switch the flip, or flip the switch. Switch the flip. How interesting that. I think it would be an accident that I said that, but no, I don't. And like Betty Portis, I love that. Again, that's my mother's name. Now, this is Betty Portis Decker, my cousin. But the thing is that my mother's on the journey with me because that's what I see spiritually. Okay. She says, I've been struggling and dealing with emotions and feeling overwhelmed. Listening to you gives me hope, that I don't have to be the prisoner of negative thought cycles. Absolutely. Before I took this journey of really getting into understanding meridians and emotions and energies of the body, I was in the same cycle. I mean, oh my God. And I felt like I was the worst mother in the world. I felt like I was the worst partner in the world. I felt like I was the worst person to myself. And so I would always practice right and wrong. And I thought, okay, do enough good deeds, this and this and that. And Spirit says, you are doing outward. Okay. And I think, yeah, but I can't freaking handle the insanity that's happening that I have to be robotic about every day. But then my emotions get the best of me. Spirit says, then how about if we get emotions? I says, well, and at the time, it really wasn't a thing. I said, all right. And then so Spirit then took me down this journey. And when my first time that I did Hope Therapy, and this Hope Therapy is, it's not really new. It's based on Chinese medicine. It's on meridians, on emotions, because meridians are emotions. This is the way your body speaks. This is the body functions. And understanding that the emotions create these thoughts. And so when I'm holding it going, oh my God, I really hate my, it's a big fat 10. And then all of a sudden I kept my hand there long enough. My thoughts started to go from a big fat 10 down. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? And as I started to study energy medicine, I'm like, oh my God, this totally makes sense. And then I started learning that we're electromagnetic beings. Further, it is to say that our blood's electromagnetic too. So when I'm holding this point and we create reality in the frontal lobe, I'm helping to bring the blood up, swoosh it around so that it calms down those emotions. And the best part was that I was free for the first time of some of these cycles. Now, some of these cycles, some of these things are hooked to the mothership, which means they're really encased in habit. They're really encased in some stories. And usually it'll point like back to, age 3. And you're thinking, God, I really worked on age 3. But when you start to see the tentacles that moment created, you would then begin to heal that. And then all of a sudden you begin to realize that it has to do with the heart. And how many walls did you put up? You can't just take down the heart wall. On some levels, you can, depending on the degree of it. But some of these are super deep. That means that I was trained to help you pull that back. And once your body does the work, now this is all about self-help. Once your body does the work, once you start to focus and do things, and you then will have to re-educate yourself. What do I mean by that? I have a lot of people come to me and they go, well, and they're blaming their partner. They don't like to live with a partner. This is happening to them. And you got to understand the reason why is because you got to learn to love your life. And you got to love what's happening in your life. And if your partner and you are not matching, you have to be okay with your continuance of growth. You cannot rely on them to grow with you. Then you have to be okay with saying, I'm going to put up with this level of hell. I'm going to put up with this level of shit. You're out of sync. Now, do you feel like you've got to save them? And they don't want to be saved. Remember, you can't change. You don't be with somebody to change them. You want to grow with them. But if they have no intention to grow with you, then you have to decide to grow on your own. And if you think, well, I love this person and I can never be separated from them, then understand you're willing to stunt your growth. And when you try to help somebody that doesn't really want help, you have to start respecting their choice. Now, you can present it. Now, I presented a lot of healing tools to people, and they were perfectly fine to walk away from me first. And I'm like, do I stop telling people so I can have people? No, because more people came to me. I mean, I never would have thought that I'm married today would be anything. I thought that one marriage I was in, that was it. If somebody had predicted and told me I'm going to get remarried, it's like, screw you. Don't tell me my marriage has gone bad. Don't tell me this. That's why I don't talk about the future with people, because you will resist it and then you'll push it farther away. But I can tell you the shit that stops you from having your future. But you have to be okay to re-educate yourself. And as I began to re-educate myself about love, especially about relationships, I didn't even know I was married to a narcissist. I didn't know that he was a gaslighter. I didn't know any of those things. And when I did, it was like, I'm not willing to put up with it anymore. I have done what I can. And we're not going to be in sync. So since there is no game plan of both parties wanting to be in sync, then I'm done. You'll hit the enough's enough level and you'll start to live your life. And if they want to join you, they will. Now, Spirit told me I had a path switch. I'm supposed to come to Australia. I'm supposed to do this and that. And it's like, what? Well, guess what? This is what I call the energy light bubble. This is where I was destined to be. And it's beautiful and it's love. Yeah, there is one destined of hell, but I didn't choose that. I didn't choose to constantly keep repeating shit. I came over here instead. Okay. As I come over here, then there is this unfolding, this trusting. And no, it wasn't the devil that did anything. I put my heart in a higher bandwidth and I started to communicate with love. And the more I communicate with love and the more I took down my fear walls, the more I started to put up healthy protection barriers against negative things. It was an automatic given. It was like, wait, wow. The more I healed my hells, the more love appeared. The more that I intentionally focused on love, the more protection I got, and the more secure stability and secure and safety was a given. And when I finally decided I'm going to surrender my hells, I'm going to let go of my pain. And again, I used resolving tools to evolve. I used tools. I used EFT, Hope Therapy. You can see on my website the list of tools that I've used. Some of them are not even on there. Those are my personal thing. But they're complicated. But they work. I never going to go back. I am not going to say, I have learned to surrender. When Spirit told me to come live the other day, it's like, I don't have makeup on. Let me get a bra on. Jesus, and of course my ego self is going, oh my God. Spirit goes, really enjoying yourself? Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm coming. And because I already knew that I wanted to do it. Because Spirit says, I got this job, and these are all suggestions. But it's me that was like, because I don't want to have to. And Spirit says, well, that's your body. That's you. You don't have to. You can move mountains. Trust me. Excuse me. Sorry, Charlie. Hello. Did you hear him? Can you say hello to the audience? Say hello. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit further? Say hello, pretty mama. That's me. And I realized when I taught my other bird, I go, pretty mama. And then when my bird was sitting outside in his cage and a woman was walking by, he goes, pretty mama. And I was like, ooh, that's probably not accepted by society. It might be considered a harassment. I'm so glad my husband wasn't standing out there. Anyway. Betty says, I am finally to the point where I have realized the same bad shit is happening over and over. So now it's like, okay, am I missing something? Yeah. And see, and that's the thing. You're allowing yourself to be educated. Take that piece of new information and insert it to where the old is, and then allow yourself to grow and be proud of that. Now, some people are going to say, oh, please don't change, or because they like you just the way they are. Yeah, a lot of you just don't understand. See, you and the thing is James, is like you're addicted. You guys are addicted, all of you. I was too, addicted to your reality. Okay. Your personal life has everything to do with your personal reality. It has to do with the way you personally are with your emotions. And if you are personal with your emotions, you create that personal reality, but you're also creating that persona. And then it creates a temperament. But if you don't know how to resolve, to evolve, then you become addicted to repeating, and you're addicted to those emotions. You're addicted to that paradigm of conscious play. The hardest part, like I was telling you about the handmaiden, is that these women are being forced to do stuff and convinced that it's their fault and all this other stuff. And how many times throughout history do we believe this life is so real that we can't get out of it? That we are, like Betty says, prisoners. And we are prisoners of ourselves. And the chains, and we have the key, the chain is broken. We just don't know how to unhook it. We don't know what to do next. And I will tell you, it felt good when I learned how to resolve to evolve. And when I took and I stood back and I'm like, oh my God, if I get out of the effect side of the equation and stop living there, my life is so much better. And it was amazing to me. I'm watching Charlie too. But you have to get enough experience. And this is why I say after healing, you need to witness who you were witness what is happening during the healing. And then, because a lot of times our ego will say, shh, it didn't happen. Oh, that maybe it didn't happen. Oh, because we are still over identifying with matter. Now, you can learn to live in this life without having to feel like you're a victim. Jennifer Patricia Burr says, the healing and understanding my own issues and why in every point in my life for change has been crazy. 9 months, and my biggest is relationships. And the thing is when I teach, like I said, the classes are coming soon. I teach empowerment through enlightenment, and it's about taking, giving you information about how the world works, how you work, how you function as a human. And when you take your life and learn how to read it, and you use spiritual investigation, you use gems, you use this, clues, then all of a sudden it's not about using your ego to see it, to be anal about it, and then using your rational mind only to rational it away, because that's the old way. You need to use the right part of your brain and your left and your spirit, which is your higher self and your heart and your gut. And it's not that complicated. You just have to begin to understand that when you view it through that, you can, they'll just light up, and you can see synchronicity working for you. You can see why this is happening. You're like, oh God, I'm sitting there. That twang of negativity. Oh shit. Or are you trying to control things? Now, ego's biggest thing is wanting to control things all the time, so it can feel safety and security and stability, but it's trying to control not itself and everybody else around them. But what they need to do is get control back over that emotions that cause those thoughts, and then creates an energy. Your inner world creates the outer world. And those energy programs shoot out there, so that's the way you're supposed to see it, through that lens. And this is how consciousness is. This is the way it's supposed to be. And then you get to learn like rings out. Okay. Okay, so I just noticed the time. Hello, everybody. Look at all these wonderful people. The Queen, yes. Yeah, isn't that cute? That's Charlie. Yeah, like every now and then I'll make noise just right. But if you watch his little feathers come over his face, he's happy. He finally let Mama kiss him on the beaky, on his little beak. And so he's like, I've learned I don't want a needy baby, so I can't touch, I can touch his neck and his head. I just can't touch the other parts, because that gets the male too excited and then craves attention. So I'm learning how to raise this one. I did my best with my first 2 children, but I will talk about my issues later. But anyways, I feel like he's supposed to be here. And I feel like he's supposed to be part of my show every day. He can be a statue. Right now it's nap time. I might try to see. Hey, Diana, are you on? Diana, I need a tea. We'd like to put it in cement it in, and have a stick, and then put another stick so I can put food and water so he can sit in the corner. So there, Diana's been very, very helpful. She is this, I call her the fairy bush woman, and she's so knowledgeable about everything outside, everything with nature and rocks and trees and plants, and she has been such a godsend in my life as a friend, and I'm very thankful to have her in my life. And so anyways, I love Charlie. We're bonding nicely. Okay, he's learning his name. No, we didn't choose it. We took him in, and he already had that name. He's 10 years old, so he's still a baby. And so my daughter, I know she never watches these, but she'll probably be, when the time that I finally pass over and let go of this body, she'll be gifted Charlie, of course, because she loves birds. All right. Good one. She says, I got him already. Yes. I got thinking about that. We need 2. I need one in here for the short version, and then I need a bigger one for the kitchen, because that other one I made from the stuff you gave me is a little big. It's all about the birds. Okay, so I'm going to look and see. The first person is Amy Schmalz. Amy, I got to make sure it's on. Ames, hold on. And if it's on, then you can call in. I hope the volume is up. That'd be a good thing. No, it's not. Okay. So Amy, if you want to call in now, for you guys that don't understand, you can call in and pay $11 and get 11 minutes, or you can pay $7 and get 6 minutes. This is that part of the show that if you call in, all you have to do is be friends with me on Facebook, and then you messenger and you call in. So we'll wait for Amy to. Oh, but maybe she can't. That's right. She said something. I didn't get to read the. Now that I think about it. Oh, she did. Oh. Okay, come on, answer. Here we go. Hi, dear.
Hi.
You look tired.
Well, I'm laying on my bed at my brother's, and it's easier to see my phone without my glasses.
Oh, I totally understand that. Okay, now everybody can hear her okay? I hope so. And this way, the reason why we have a call in is so that people can learn. And so we like to be able to share. No, there's not too long of a list, Angel. Okay, so, and here we go. What would you like for me to do? Anything and all things?
Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Anything and all things, yes.
Okay, so, did you want me to address some of the things that you wrote me, or did you want me to address that later? Okay. So that means I have to go over here real quick. Oh, Charlie, look at that little smugness on him.
He's so dang cute.
Yeah, you finally get to see him. Okay, so let's. Oh, so your headache got better? It's now in your neck?
It's back in my head.
Okay, you got to understand. She went into an environment that's loving, but she has put up a lot of walls because where she's at, they're not in sync. And it is different opinions, different beliefs, different this. So her body feels like it's in enemy territory to some degree, even though consciously she knows she's not. It's just the program of the body that you started developing symptoms before you left.
I did?
Yeah, because your body was anticipating. See, I didn't say that to you because I knew you were supposed to go to the event or do what you had to do, so I just left it. Didn't you say all of a sudden your skin was doing things that it shouldn't be doing? You're like, why is this happening?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So your body is saying, now this is how your immune system is always like looking for issues, and it already anticipated knowing that it had experienced before at this location. And one of the things that it says is that you know that you're going into a place where the compatibility may not be 100%. Okay. Would you say that's true?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. And then you're constantly walking on eggshells on one person, and another person you're trying to communicate with, but you know you can't because the other person is like, Okay, good. And there is this exertion of power that's ever so quiet, but it is flat out pushes you. Can you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
But that's what you felt in your hometown when you were going, oh, I'm going to go on this trip. And your body's going, really? Oh, my God. And it's panicking for you. Who's stubborn, you or them? Is it a mirror?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably a mirror because chances are if they think you're stubborn, you think they're stubborn, then you got a mirror. but stubborn is definitely rubbing the wrong way. You have woke up enough now that you are starting to see what arrogance looks like in the ego factor of asleep. So she's not just agreeing with her head's bobbing. You just don't get to see that. So the thing is that you can feel the most, and you woke up enough that you don't believe this, but you are aware of the volume is that worthless comes out. And you're like, oh, I'm so not into that. Before, you might have believed it. Your body would have responded to it. You probably showed up that way to them. But here you're holding your power now because you've resolved those emotions. And you're like, we're still doing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So they said the headache has a lot to do with the lack of power. Okay. So they're showing the liver meridian, that the liver meridian energy had plummeted, which should have gave you support, but it didn't. And you're known for being the bad girl, not as in I'm bad. It is, you're not doing the right thing, dear. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you definitely are the it in the I it. And so because you're in their territory, you are more of the it. You're just the object that you can always feel like, why don't she just go home? And the thing is that you're like, and you notice, this is the strange part. You've noticed that no matter what you do, this is always the way it's been. And you're beginning to notice the pattern and the programs, and you're like, wow. So the question is, do you keep repeating this? Do you keep banging your head against the wall to make a relationship? Or do you just keep living your life, being nice and sweet, do what you need to do, but not go out of your way to try to bond with somebody that don't want to bond?
Exactly that.
And this is where the growth comes in, because you're saying that she's saying when you were younger, it was like 2 years old, I'm not worthy to be in this family. Okay. At 2 years old, you probably wouldn't have known that. But how people treat you and what you accept, you're telling them to continue to treat you this manner. But at 2 years old, you can't defend yourself because you don't know that pattern's going on. So nothing has really changed, and they only seen you. If we were to actually have a conversation, they'd probably say, "Oh yeah, I see her as a 14-year-old idiot." You know what I mean? They would encapsulate you in time. We all do this to some degree. I still see my sister she's 16 when she's 40 now. Okay. Is there a lot of jealousy in that family? Now she's going to say no, but if she really looks,
if I really looked, yeah.
Okay, and this is weird because it's not really of this time period. It is of the past. Can you see that? So that means she shifts her thoughts to the past. How jealousy shows up now would be that I expected you to be there for me. There's low self-esteem. I mean, it's just transformed itself into something different to help you get rid of your headache. Now, the thing is, your headache is to check out. This is your way of saying, I really don't want to participate in that energy field. I really just wanted to check out, go home, and not do it. So you're being challenged by of all things, they're your 14-year-old self. And this is you at 14 rejecting something out of your reality.
Okay.
So the best way to ask your soul to help you get over your headache we could rub the points. And the points, the best way to get rid of the headache would definitely be liver, L3 on the top of the foot, large intestine, L4 or LI4 here.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to have to do the hookup because your energy field is so down that you pick up everything that they're thinking about Amy. And then your right part of your sensory system is reconstructing something that may or may not be true, but it was based on something you grew up with.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what you need to continue to heal, since this is, I already told you that you needed to pay attention to all these little things, is that you need to hold R3S because you're going into self-efficacy loss, meaning you can't be positive and be yourself and have the results you would like.
Right.
So the situation and the environment dictates how you're supposed to feel. And you're like, oh my God, I certainly do not want to do this. The other part you're going to hold is R2S, because that little part of you of when you were 8 was really worried that you wouldn't fit in, or you don't fit. Oh, sorry. You don't fit in anymore. Does that make sense? Yes. Did you freeze? Oh, there you are.
Yes. Yes. That's when my brother started going with his ex-wife.
Ah.
And I didn't like her.
Gotcha.
At that time, and I told her I hated her, but then I was told to apologize.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Now, what's interesting is that you had said something in an email or in the little thing about someone in the family. You know what you wrote. And the reason why is, and I asked, are they bipolar? No, it's just that they are, do you know how old they are?
4.
Okay. What I'm getting is they're flip-flopping because the environment is saying one thing and it means another. And then another person saying one thing. There's not a synchronicity. It's like everybody's trying to hold the power. Everybody's trying to do the right thing, but everybody's just, I have an emotional issue. Of course, that affects everybody else. And then why aren't you listening to me? Anyways, the 4-year-old just is expressing emotions she's picking up. So she's happy, and all of a sudden she'll pick up the emotion and does that make sense? Yeah, so she doesn't quite know, except for she's processing stuff out. Yep, because when it happens, is there's a part of her that feels deficient, that she needs attention and love. When she reaches out, she doesn't get that. She gets those energy fields instead. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you for calling in, and watch the show whenever. Get those healings, get feeling better, and then get your ass home. Try to do your best to enjoy the rest of the time there, though.
Yeah, I'm going home tomorrow, I think.
Okay, well, just try to rest up. Okay, take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon. All right, thank you, everybody. And we are going to take the next person. Oh, that's not it. Angela Harris. Angela Harris. And then after that is James. Angela Harris. Now, Angela, we can do this right here, or you can call in. You choose. Remember, we will do the 1-minute free reads after we do the lives or the paid readings. Yeah, Gigi, how do you like it? Yeah. Well, I love when he does this. I was like, I am surprised he hasn't started stretching. I gave him food before and he was throwing it all over. So since the Lionsgate ritual. Okay, so Angela says, since the Lionsgate's ritual, now the Lionsgate ritual was something that, because the Lionsgate happens every year. Well, she paid to join the meditation and the healing and the growth that comes from that. I felt more grounded, centered, focused, and powerful. I need any messages from Spirit that I need to continue growing in my own and understanding and take back my power and claiming my spiritual gifts. Gotcha. Okay, so I'm picking it up. Okay, learning to be more playful is one thing, but you have to also understand that as you begin to develop who you are, you're going to be challenged by other people that's in the space. The question that remains is, do you have to emotionally respond to it. When you emotionally react, then your spirit is saying that energy is what needs to be closed so that it can be given to you so that you can begin to develop your gifts. So it's not just about resolving. They're saying that that energy needs for your gifts to evolve, because as soon as you react, you can't hear your gifts. They're blocked. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes, do you want cards? You do this deck. Okay. So we're going to take the. Okay. So as you begin to evolve, and especially with this, the new fifth dimension energies that are really coming in, are you saying this has to do with, that's going to interfere? Okay, so as this new energy comes in, you're like, you're going to define it by something that you did in the past life. And they're saying the life that you had when you were on the water, that you were on, in the ships, when you used to travel, and the hardship that had happened with that. They're saying that type of life, and then your health. The health is very important to look at too, because that is tied into that particular lifetime. When I'm looking at this, tell me more about the ships. And they said that you've learned to distrust. So they're showing me that when you were on the high season, when you did all that, there was the losing faith. Yeah, it's not that, and then you became greatly discouraged, because I guess your connection was good, and then because you did not reach dry land, I think your ship went down. Oh, because now I'm getting a headache. It's like you there was a party that was just bashing your head against the wall. Going, why is this happening? Why is this happening? So I hear a lot of repeating. Hi, Charlie. I don't know if you were in charge of it because you were shamed. I don't know if you were the captain or what you were, but I just know that you were forced to have to take the blame. Shame. Oh, then there were some punishments. Were you the ship's advisor? I don't know if ships had advisors, but I know that you were on it. Hold on. Were you female on the ship? No. Okay. That's a whole nother story. Retribution had to be paid. So did you take it on in this life or other lives? Okay. How many times have you done retribution? About 123 times. And it's not done yet? Or do you feel it's not done? Or did you take it on thinking that if I did this, then it'd be done, but it never ended? Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. You have no idea that it can be stopped. So have you walked away with the lesson that you needed, the wisdom? Was there wisdom? Okay, so what is it that you need to stop? Expecting others? No, expecting. So you have an expectation. Okay, so I tell people to live in expectancy, knowing that when you put your trust and faith that this, something's going to happen, but you don't control it. But if you are focusing on that, this is what I expect to happen, this is the expectation, and it doesn't follow through, then you'll miss the whole lesson with it. You will miss the whole opportunities that come with it. And so those will fall aside because you're looking at this is the way it's supposed to show up. Does that part make sense? Oh, Angela says, I can't watch the Titanic movies because they could get me anxiety. Well, yeah, because I believe you had gone down. but you were also blamed for it too. I keep hearing you keep restricting yourself. Okay, so because you've done the Lionsgate with me, that's good. I want you to begin to open it up, that energy, and you may want to do the meditation again, because you need to connect with that galactic heart. You need to connect with the earth heart so that it feeds you the energy of love. Because the moment that you get started really tap into love, then it'll make every bad thing that happened to you make more sense. So that's why it happened. So that's why God let it happen, type thing. And you're like, you'll start get epiphanies. So you got to learn to get out of your head, get into your heart, and start to develop that love. And it's not just about developing, but it's remembering. And that's why you practice seeing love, practice knowing love, because then it'll take you to the next part of developing, because then you'll be able to hear. Yep, right there, because they said removing the expectations, get into your heart, develop the love, then the idea flows into the right brain, because that one right channel, you blocked it off because you said, oh, never again am I going to have this happen. Oh, so do we have to get rid of that vow? Yes, because you claimed it. You declared that you took the blame on, and you were so over-identified with matter that it was just, you claim that you're never going to trust God again, or you're never going to, so then you keep blocking it. So we're just going to start to remove and transcend and let it go. Now let's just see what we can do. I want you to take your hand or a magnet, whatever, and I want you to just start to, there it is, we're tapped into it. You can come back to it. Right now I'm doing a bandwidth. But then you're just going to start to remove, there it is, removing the declaration. We're taking the will off it. There is that, I never will do this again. And as you begin to take that energy off it, see, now further healing might need to be done, because you're going to have to understand. They said, they just showed me that how you look at things. Okay, when you begin to learn about eye accessing, you'll see that you hold the picture sometimes in both eyes, but one will be slightly different in number. And then eventually you're going to start noticing that you don't have to see through that filter. You can stop seeing through that filter. I mean, and when you start to do eye accessing and the number goes down, you're going to be so surprised, because all of a sudden it's like, shit, you mean I don't have to see it that way, or think it that way, or know it that way? That is correct. So it's taking down how that filter is. Good. So she understands that. They say that every time you go and to practice, to use your skills, to develop more of your purpose, which is the passion and the importance, what's important to you, you go to, you get all ready, but then all of a sudden you get cloudy thinking, and you can't seem to take and stay on task on something. It's like, it's not even procrastination. It's all of a sudden the energy will switch, and you're over here when you were here, and you don't realize that, wait a minute, what just happened? That's a program. So cloudy thinking, and that's a program, and they would like that out. Now, if you don't do hope therapy, so then the next best thing is EFT. And that is, the cloudy thinking is a symptom, but it's tied to an emotion. Okay, so the cloudy thinking itself is the emotion. But if I looked at yours, your cloudy thinking is hooked into, I'm unlucky. Oh. So then that makes you don't want your hopes up. Because if I get my hopes up, it's just going to fail. And I've seen this pattern before where it's like, yeah. And then unlucky happens. And does this pattern make sense to you? So there's a part of you, as you begin to open up and you're doing this, you have to stop yourself. So you put the symptom of cloudy thinking in, and then it just, and then it pulls you back. And it prevents you from going forward. So tap that out. You as EFT. She says, I doubt myself and my worth. I suffer a lot of shame feelings. Okay. because we know it's tied into that particular past life and then that health. When you're doing this, you can actually begin to say within the timeline of, and you don't have to have the exact words. Okay, I see shame. You can just start tapping out shame. Okay, Hope Therapy really pulls these out. And your worth. And worth, it's self-worth or low self-esteem is a symptom, and you'll feel it. And it'll drag you, okay? But you don't have to be stuck in that. Use a lot of EFTs. The best thing, if you can go to do eye accessing, that might help you. Would eye accessing help? Yeah. Like when you're looking at the water, or you're looking at ships, or you're looking at, I doubt myself. And if you do that, go look in the mirror for this one, not for the water and stuff, but when you doubt yourself. Go to Medicine Woman, the number 4, the letter U, Weebly, WEBLY.com. Look under healing, and then healing tools, and you'll see a whole drop-down list, and you should see sensory accessing. And there's one for the eye. Okay. Very good. Thank you for honoring me. I appreciate that. The next person is James. Now, James, you can call in, or James, you can write me here, sweetheart. That's up to you. That's up to you. Just let me know. Hi, Charlie. You doing good, Charlie? Hello? Huh? Hello, pretty mama. That's mama. Hi, mama. Yeah. Can you say hello? See, there's mama there. Can you wave? Can you pick your paw? Yeah. Nope. Okay. He likes to be a statue. Sometimes you don't even know he moves. I mean, if he blinks every now and then, but if you want a real good, clear picture of it, YouTube has Charlie. It's more clear over there. And James says, just a lot of trouble, letting the ex go, then doing the healing, and it helps. Still have lots of roadblocks to get away from her. Like anything she does, runs or ruins. I can see both. I swear she has, probably does. If that's the case. Now, she shows many different personality types. Yes. And now we have to look at her as not her. We have to look at her as a perspective. So we'll pull it in that direction. One minute's the best, and the next minute's adult. Have you looked up what gaslighting is and narcissist? Because if you really define those, you might notice that would make a lot of sense to you. I know you're worried about the daughter. Let's see. I feel like that's why I need to go. Okay, you understand. Thank you, Spirit. We're just going to let it in. If there is an unfit parent, there are people before you that have had the same situation where the child was in an unfit house. And we're just going to have you, Spirit, help bring into you to line up to you how you can do this. And you just need to get more education. Just remember, consider the source. Go to somebody that actually knows the answers you're looking for. And you just keep asking Spirit, show me the answers. Because it's not working for you if you keep going back into the relationship. And it's not helping the child. Even though you may feel like you're saving the child that way, there is another way to save that child. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to always lose out to this person. If nobody else sees her unfit, then we would have to heal how you know it. And then there's other little different things that we can do to help pull it. So what we're going to do first is understand that she's showing you it shows lack of control, but she's showing you that she can control you. And again, you really need to think about how educate yourself on what a narcissist. Educate yourself with what a gaslighter is. And the reason that you go back to it is because you can feel her energies invade your space by using the daughter as a weapon, and that is very unhealthy. I'm just going to ask Spirit, were you ever used as a weapon? No. Have you ever seen other people use other as a weapon? Yes, and that's what the problem is that you can't help it. So is that the filter, the program to stop it so that the child can be safe? We're asking Spirit that hers. Okay, so what pattern are you falling for? You're falling for her irrational thinking. So we would heal how you can see that she is irrational. And it's not that you're going to heal her that way, but it's going to set up the universe to start responding to you in your favor. So you've got to stop seeing her being irrational. And okay, so all women seem to be irrational to you to some degree. And they're saying this is an old paradigm that keeps you from actually having love. So this goes back even further than this lifetime. Where are we going? So you feel like you always have to chase love. Oh, why? Oh, it's interesting. They said your soul did a vivid recall of how you have to chase love. So you're hooking yourself up to somebody unhealthy, and you always have to repeat this particular Is that what happened? So in another lifetime, how your life is today, you had it then. You convinced yourself that you loved this person that didn't want you. So it was unrequited love, meaning there was no chemistry, there's no love. You love them, but they can't bond with you. And over time, you keep chasing love because love seems to not exist for you. That's what you got from that lifetime. Because of that, it's making it so that you have to chase love. So there's a part of you that has to look at your mind and going, you have to connect the dots here so that you can say, oh my God, I'm chasing love. I'm chasing love. Like your daughter being in that situation. She's your love. You have to chase love. So you can see how you have to chase love and finding a woman. So you're chasing love. And that seems to be the thing. So we're going to address you. And the first thing is that we would have you do R3S. Okay. And we want you to hold that and see how you have to chase love. Literally get the pictures in your mind, how you have to chase down, find people to love. And they're shit. You chase your daughter to get love, and she gives it freely, but there's another person involved. Chasing love and your family growing up, but because it's given somewhere else and there's just doesn't seem any left for you, because these is a filter. This filter doesn't allow you to see love or feel love or be loved or act as love. And so that means there's a heart filter over, okay? But it is resolved in this past life that really causes you to be. So not only R3S, once you feel this, and notice that when you're in that position, you also think about how you can't get the results you want. Okay? Oh, on scale from 0 to 10. Oh my God, I cannot just be stable, be in sync. Let there just be love. There's always got to be this chaos. Notice how that's not coming to pass. R2D is also the right, but this time it's the second position, and you're going to push your thumb in deep. They want you to address this as you seem unlucky in love. And you're going to look at how all of your life, girlfriends, whatever, how it all started out, but then you seem to be unlucky. Okay. Oh, he just sneezed. Bless you, my little love. Notice, okay, so now you have to do R1D. That's that first position, nice and deep. You have to see how you overcompensate. Look that word up and notice how you have to overcompensate to correct it, and which is why you keep chasing love. Heal that out. You have to really define that one for yourself and how you do it. Not just define it, but look at Oh, shit, I do it here. I do it here. I do it with this person. I do it here. Okay, this is why your life can't get stable, because you're over here trying to chase love. Yeah, it causes you not to have a clear direction. And they said that notice how your emotions are out here. But when you're alone, they drive you crazy in here. And as they drive you crazy in here, you can't help but to point the finger out there. And they said, this is because that program just keeps going and going. See, right now it's making my stomach unsettled. You can hear it in my voice. Which one? So you're working on your heart chakra. Did you want to do anything specific? Okay, they say yes. You don't have to unless you want to, but you can focus on love. You can focus on love issues. You don't even have to. You can do this anytime you want. Doesn't matter either hand. Okay, charge them up. That means get the electromagnetic energy flowing, get it warm. Okay, charge them up. Like I said, either hand. Your heart chakra is right here. Now, I want you to also understand that there is a high heart, which is, just know your intention is heart, high heart. Now, they can be anywhere they want. Just understand they're almost in complete alignment. Now, when you go to do this, doesn't matter which way you do this, except for end with it going in clockwise. So that means when I'm looking, my clock is this way. Okay, so again, it's at my hand, and you know how a clock works. So to others, it'll look like it goes the opposite direction. You can now, when you go to do this, you begin. It doesn't matter. You can go like this. You can back and forth, but be over in that direction. And if this is about cleansing, clearing, you don't have to think of that. Just allow yourself to get into the feeling. Let's okay, you're just doing this. And just become mindless. Just do it, because your intention is you're clearing and you're healing. And as you do this, your hand might all of a sudden might want to go out. That's good. But because you seem to have a lot of issues out here, I want you to imagine that your vortex of this chakra is so far out, because you have a vortex right next to it. And it's so far out past your aura that it's sucking in the negativity. And that's not how we want this vortex, not the heart chakra, but the vortex next to it. So this is why I said use your imagination. If you feel like you're all of a sudden you're like, but mine's out here, fine. Understand that you're bringing it in. You're balancing it out. You're balancing it out. That's all you have to do. And just make circles. When you're done, just end it with a clockwise position. Remember, I'm looking at my palm and I know how a clock goes. That is how I know the direction. Okay. You have a back. Oh, see, my will is gone. Okay. Good example. You're like, oh, but my heart chakra is front and back. Intention. While you're doing this, you can imagine that you're doing this on your back. Or you can pretend like you're doing it out here. Here's your front and here's your back. And then you're just balancing it out. Intention is everything. And you're just asking Spirit to help you if you want to. And this will start balancing out that little vortex. You can think, I need to heal that vortex, the heart chakra, and the high heart. And you're balancing and correcting. When your hand's out like this, focus on the hand that's in the front and notice it's clockwise, and you're going to make this one copy to end it. You can that's the best thing you can do energetically to help those chakras. Okay. Yes, that is a real bird. That's Charles. We call him, we think he's posh, Charles. Yes. And his little feathers are coming up against his little beak. And he's like, I'm happy. Hi, Charles. Hello. Someday he'll start talking. And then we'll probably never get him to shut up. You're welcome, James. Watch the review. Heal, heal, heal. And that filter will change. Next person after that. Let's see. Oh. Yes. Okay. Nope. It's not during the show. It's after the show. Well, good. Got that. So we got 2 people after the show. And what do I mean by that? If you look up above, some people will either pay me off the schedule, which you can go on to my fan page and look under services. Or you can, this is the deal that I have here, is $22 for 15 minutes, and you don't have to do that on the air. Now that we have this in play, this is the best time to also share. If you haven't shared, share it in groups, because then we can do the 1 minute read. Now I'm looking over here. So are all the issues challenges due to the same issues we have in our past lives? Every issue that you have in this life will be a hook from the past lives. Your soul does not evolve on until it works through that particular issue. So you can spend a lot of time, because there's no such thing as time and space through as a soul, but how many times do you recycle here? How many times do you recycle somewhere else? And it will be based on one particular perspective that you're looking and trying to solve. And that, again, it starts off with, what is love? By finding out what it's not. And then we spend the rest of the time to find out what love is again and release what it is not. Your issues, every physical issue you have, is based on how the blueprint of your body is being affected by every issue that's in the mental body, the emotional body, and the spirit bodies. All of these bodies you have, it has an outer morphogenic field, and that morphogenetic field is what holds our habits. The morphogenetic field is what holds our, tells me these are hands. Don't you love any fluffs? That this is hair, because they have done, here's your cells. They put cells in a petri dish, and the cell had a morphogenetic field. And so the cell became whatever they took it from. If they took it from a thumb, it grew a thumb. If they, and so a body part knows what a body part is because it comes from that particular morphogenic field. Being that said, morphogenic field is also the habit. So you are your habits. You are your spiritual issues. And this is why some people that are listening, when I said that, we think that it's just, a few years back, whatever, but go back to Atlantis, go back to Lemuria, go back way before that, go back even further on a different galactic or subterranean issues. And when you begin to understand that that is very convoluted and scary and thinking, that's why we only have a certain amount of memories. But the ancient part of our brain holds all of that, and those have major issues too. My physical body has a lot to do with not just not resolving an issue in a particular life, but it goes back to where I was a creature and I was bound with a collar around my neck, and I had my shoulder blade ripped, and my body, my subconscious mind, my soul has remembered that I have not been able to let go of the paradigm, okay, of that particular lifetime. It was not just an issue, but it was the paradigm. Does that make sense? Because within the paradigm, it tells you who's in charge, who's not in charge, where's the power versus force, which is power in this case is love. Force is the ego. So is it higher self and lower self? It's heaven and hell. And, you can create heaven and hell on earth. In this case, some people will think, oh, my heaven is, I saw this example like Trump. Some people's heaven is that he's there to answer some stuff. Some people's hell is that's Trump. So depends on where your thought system, your belief system, and your paradigm level of where you are on your path. So hopefully that answers a question or two. And you're probably not even on to hear it again, but then you may be. Let's see. The bird, I know bird energy, and apparently I feel like there is some Avery energy in a different timeline for me. And so now it's like, I feel like Charlie may be part of that familiar. I haven't tapped into that because I haven't opened that part of my heart up yet. Good. Amy said her headache feels better. And good, you guys know the 1 minute read. So for you guys to understand, the 1 minute read is you put up their hashtag MWB4ME. So the 4 is a number 4. So it's MWB, the number 4ME, space. And you I'll just do a whatever you want me to read. But if you say, if it's a health issue, say thyroid, or if you know a specific thing that you have, okay. If you have cancer, if you have, or if you say relationship, my mind will be, oh, you probably want one. But if it is in a bad relationship, or just, kind of give a few extra words so that it helps zeroes in and gives direction. So no matter where you're at, we're ready for the 1 minute read. And we'll begin with Virginia Flores. Oh, I need to. Flores. I've lost it. There she is. Okay, Virginia. Okay, so there, you may not even be aware of it, but your body parts, I feel awkward that sits. Something to do with the inside of your body. And your body knows when you're going to go into an awkward situation before you even get there. Because before you get there, that's, your body says, oh, and it may not want to do it. Okay. They said that you stored a particular thing. You stored awkwardness. When did you store it? At 3 years old, you stored it inside that part. Now I'm asking the gland or organ. They said, no, it was an area. And it happens to be this bandwidth in this area. Gotcha. It has to do with compatibility with relationships. So it's that second chakra. It's not sure if it wants to be compatible or in a relationship or whatever, but it's like, ooh. And it's not just love relationships. It's just people in general. Like you can be so irritated and can't tolerate kid energy, but you have kids type thing. Amy Schmalls. Okay, so you're going to have to address that thing that we talked about a little bit deeper when you get a chance, because they said that you stored it in the body. Any place particular? No. It's like in a system where which system did you store it in? You stored it in the reproductive part of your body. That you can't be female, that you can't be you can't do this. And you stored it so much that you destroyed the feminine aspect of yourself. So you can't be feminine, you can't be you. And it was all based on an energy of exertion of power, that this is a man's world. And even female that have that yang energy, it's like, oh, I better cut that part of myself out so that people like me. Where do you need to hold? They says that they want you to start with R1D, because that's why you overcompensate. I do one reading per person. Marie. Hi, darling. Oh my God, my eyesight just went. So the eyesight is that you're not able to focus because you're forcing yourself to be under pressure to always be that bubbly woman that people expect you are. And why aren't you tolerating me? What's wrong with you? I mean, because you're this bubbly, loving woman, but your part of you is like, but I really just don't want to put up with this energy anymore. But as soon as I try, they make me feel, and it's just, it's reestablishing who you are. And the hard part is that how do you center yourself without looking self-centered? And they said that if you did Hope Therapy, then you would hold R2S, which is the second position, right wrist, second position, hold it nice and soft. Okay. And just kind of look at what I said, because even though they make you feel important, they also control that situation. Brandy Bryant Johnson. You have a compulsion to do what? To retell yourself the story over and over and over. So you're overthinking. No, you retell yourself the story over and over for what reason? And they said that there's an energy of contempt that looks up what that word means, but there's energy of contempt that I don't even know if you're aware of that, because it causes you to go there and think this over, and it's a compulsion to think about it. And they said that was your coping tool. To do this continuous thing is your coping tool. And I asked, well, why did you have to have that coping tool? And they says, because you had to figure out how to stop crying. And I say, well, what age? At 4 years old. You were petrified to do something. You didn't really want to do it, but then you had to talk yourself into do it. So that's why you tell yourself the story over and over. And it could be that so you don't repeat it again, or you try to convince yourself to do something. Penny Bergman. Penny. Where are we going? Is people always trying to force you to do the right thing? And it may sound like sound advice, but they said, please consider the source. Are you doing it because they want you to behave a certain way and they know how to get you to behave a certain way? And that this relationship, depends on whether you do it this way. And you don't know because they feel like an automatic response and you're doing it. But there's a party, it's like, well, why not? I have to. And it's like, and then when somebody else comes involved, you got to do this too. I know. And so then, there's just this feeling. And I ask why. And they said that you just don't feel like you're compatible with this person. And it feels like maybe a parent. And so then it feels like you're trying to figure out a way to bond, but it's hard to bond when you feel attacked. No, it's hard. I'm going to stop that for a second. You don't know how to describe that feeling, that whatever that feeling is, because you store that in the body. You're like, I don't understand that. And I'm going to ask, this feeling that she can't describe, what is it? Can you tell me? Feeling attacked. Oh, so it wasn't by mistake. So yeah, you may not even realize it. So that's why I say, pay attention to if you got a narcissist, a gaslighter, or somebody that needs to control the situation, because that's how you're supposed to do things. But either way, it may be just the way they're talking. So they'll talk flippant, or they may not understand it. I see something in particular as do as I say, not as I do, and do it this way. And I'm going to keep convincing you until you do it this way. And then you satisfied me, and that's good, but I won't give you any appreciation or love from that. Pilly. Can my relationship saved, renewed? Good question. So Pilly asks, can my relationship be saved and renewed? Can split spirit realign it? The spirit has always responding to the situation. So on a given day, if your heart is that you want it renewed, then the spirit will try to get it to come back together. But if the other heart involved doesn't want it, then it won't. But at the same time, this is what happens. You going to what's familiar, and you'd like it. It doesn't make any sense up here. And you think, oh, but my heart says I love. But at the same time, what you're doing is you're repeating this, I want happy. Now, again, this is part of what an addiction does, or people that have addiction issues as well. What it is that you're chasing that happy. You want that happy, and you had it here, but you're not sure if you can get it in the future or from somebody else, but you know where you can get it. And then your body's going, but we want the happy now. So then you go back. And part of it is they said that you're losing yourself to the situation. And when you lose yourself to the situation, then you're telling them that they can keep treating you in this manner. Now, should you stay together? Energy says that you are moving, you're growing. And if you keep growing, then no, because you're not in the same wavelength. You're not aligned. But if you give yourself up and you start to follow that, you're just going to be on again, off again, and playing these games. So be careful. You got to decide what's important to you. And hopefully you won't listen to the body where it says it needs just happy. And that's not the happy. It's false happiness. Okay. Happy is something else. Okay, and it has nothing to do with another person. Happy is an inside job. So we're going to go to Angela Abels. Will my side project or site project be profitable in the next 6 months? Thank you. All right, so here's the thing. The variables change based on your old patterns and patterns that you can pick up the chunk of the past, slide it in the now, and put it in the future. If you don't change something, so if you've had issues before with business, then you can begin to repeat those patterns. So what I'm going to look at directly, without looking at anything else, she wants to know, will it be profitable? Yes. Now, here's the thing. You have to measure what you understand as profitable. If you got a dime and you're appreciative of that dime, then you can graduate and get bigger bills. But if you sit there and think that, oh, well, I measure profit by, I don't really have an outcome. If it profitable, it could be that I just have customers, but nobody buys. Do you understand? You have to really define it to some degree, that a little bit of education, and this is where an accountant comes in, is they can help project the future. And this is why an accountant really needs to be, you have one before you have your business, so it starts to alleviate those fears so that you can start to focus on that. If you're not living up to your standard of where you think you should be, but if in an accountant, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, so I need to pick up and do more sales here. I need to talk on this audience over here. And so there's a lot to do when it comes to business. Okay, so define it, because it can be little or a lot. But when you get a little, you need to be appreciative so that you can graduate to take a lot. You need to learn what you don't know you need to learn. That's always fun. Doesn't he make a great statue, Gigi? You know, he's my husband. I brought him in the home and said, okay, my husband wants this bird. But my husband says, we're sharing the bird. And so Charlie, I love Charlie. So we're going to go to Marie. Her 1 minute read is, wait, did I do Marie already? Yeah, I did. But you got a headache. Spirit says allow for it. To get rid of your headache, you need to hold. Or do you want her to hold? Oh, you do in this case. I would say tap. Do you need her to rub this or no? They want you to hold because it's about self-imposed limitations. And the headache came on when you're like, but I can't stand up for myself. I can't tell them. I can't. So I can understand why they said that. So R1D, right wrist, first position, nice and deep. Okay, stay there and think about the self-imposed limitations. I can't do this. Understand? Because, and then they said that they want you to rub the spleen, the foot. No. So spleen 21. You got to get those energies going so the both sides of the body can give you a little bit more strength. Okay. And then the rest will start to, there's probably more to it, but you got to first notice that your headache is your answer to how to deal with those people. Amy Ray Patterson. And then I'll come over to this side. Amy Ray. When it comes to a soulmate, okay, you have to first make sure you are ready for your soulmate. Is there work that needs to be done? Yes, but let's talk about this soulmate so you can get a little bit further clue. They said you have to heal the family issues, the shit that you don't want to take that baggage into that relationship. So however you thought about your mom, your dad, your sister, or whatever, you got to heal those issues. And then they said that when you begin to heal these issues, then the filter, so that you can have true love, the filter, you'll be able to see it. Because right now you're taking any love that comes your way. So when somebody's being nice to you, you misunderstand that they love you. And they said that understand that you produce enough of the oxytocin and then the trust molecule or the hormone, and you convince yourself. And they said, I'm going to ask, because you're starving? No, it is because of that and feeling. So you need to heal how you feel hopelessness. If that's the case, then you need to hold R1S, right wrist, first position, nice and soft. Hopeless that you're going to find the right one. That's why you keep repeating the patterns. Susan Bowles. Overwhelm. Self-preservation. I can't be conditioned. I don't. It isn't. Okay, so you can't be. So it's in the heart meridian. And there's the one thing about the heart is that it says your heart said, this is how I respond to what happened to an overwhelmed. And so it creates an actual symptoms in the body. But how it looks on the outside is you can't think, or inappropriate laughing, or some weird behavior. And it's connected to, this is how I need to cope. Now I feel this breathing. I feel this weirdness that happens, and it's keep repeating itself is what I'm hearing. And they said that it's not sure how to feel. You're also the 5D energy coming in. It's based on coming through as love, but you can't help but to see it in some form of symptom. So I find that interesting. Hey, Ryan. We got a while back, and Gigi, when did I get it? I can't even remember. It's been a while. It's about maybe a month. His name's Charlie. Charlie Smythe. Oh, you'll love this. Okay, so Ryan, it's Charlie Sebastian Smythe, a bolt cutter Power the third. He's posh. Teresa Perkins, TMJ, help. Yeah. Okay. So, Teresa, yes, there is all right. So they're saying that your large intestine meridian, and the large intestine meridian comes from here. Okay, goes up and choo choo. Okay, so it comes right across the jaw. And they said that if you were to start to help to balance this out, because there's a big issue there, is that start to rub here. Okay, I think you're going to have a couple more points, but rub both sides. Remember, it's where the two bones come together. The other point will be to help release this would be down here, spleen 21. Okay, it's not back, it's right there. Spleen 21, get that going. And then your stomach meridian, don't tell me I put them in the wrong spot. There it is. Okay, so there's two spots, but one of them is, do you want her to do the one between the toes on top of the foot? No. Okay, so this is very important to get. It is between, it's right there. So it's between the second and the third toe, right in that crack. Okay, it's right in the crack. Do both sides. Start to rub that and see what happens. It sounds like the muscle keeps pushing it and the nerves keeps pushing it, so it's out. We may have, that's where I'd probably do some hands-on healing and some other little things to help pull that in. You can, do you want her to manipulate a certain point? It's on loss, failure. So I would, if you had Hope Therapy, I'd say R2D. But I can't remember if you did or didn't. Here, Delinda Haynes. Delinda. Who can't hear you, honey? Is it just me? If that's it, switch and give me something different. Left brain. It's not seeing the clues. Something that you're not seeing. Tell me more about this. They said it has to do with your creating this indecision. Oh, you're not seeing a pattern and a habit. Oh, you're not seeing the pattern and the habit. Gotcha. And they said that the reason you don't see it is because you're afraid to make the decision, because you, as a little child, that too got scorned for making the wrong decision. Okay, because you made the wrong decision before, it scared you. It scared the bejesus out of you. Okay, it's what you call putting the fear in you. But anyways, it scared you. And your happy part of you started to feel left behind. Well, that's an interesting. Well, it makes sense, though. Definitely tap that out. Patricia Hinson. Relationships. Patricia. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Strange, but it's out there. Okay. So understand you need to find out what deception means. This means what kind of person is this person? Are they do they dangle the carrots and then they do the gaslighting? Do you use deception? Are they at that old paradigm? You know, because you have got to wake up to that. Sometimes people are, this is just their behavior. It's not their intention. It's just that what they do. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So to begin to bring in relationships and become more in sync is that you have got to get that heart to feel love. Because if this heart is producing out love, you're going to attract love in. If this part is shielded, then if you want to love in your life, you're not going to be able to attract them in. Lillian, wait, did I just do that? No, I was going to, and then I saw that Spirit reminded me. Lillian Alvarez. What spirit to be aware, feeling great, but I feel like something wonderful is about to happen. Okay. Where are you going, mister? Hold on, I'll get you. Where are you going? You get back up there. Well, you have water. Don't give me that. You need to get back up there. Do you see his little mouth going? What are you doing? I don't think you can. Oh. You trying to get closer to Mama? What? Don't go anywhere. You can sit there. But if you go anywhere, Mama's going to have to keep an eye on you. And no chewing on anything. Little fart anyway. Oh, go back to Lillian now. Yes, give all the hearts. It helps produce the ratings. Let's see. I'm watching you. To be aware. It's adorable. You're distracting me. Something good is about to happen. Yes. It's like, you know, when you're going to the diamond mine and you chunk, and you want to quit before you get there, just keep doing it. Something is going to happen. I feel like its spiritual alignment is actually about to take place. And they said that it's something to do with contributed to with coworkers or something to do with being good in the coworker field. Okay. The compatibility will increase. You'll come more in alignment with people. Really? It's because you're starting to speak your truth a little bit more and more of the energy is going to come out. Isn't he cute? I've never seen him do that. Be careful of being overcompensating. Because if you overcompensate too much, you're going to change the energy, which will change the karma. Isn't he cute? Darcy Graham. What is that word? Wow, I can't even read. My eyesight went again. Under pressure. Under pressure is that part of you that's told you have to be something else than what you are. And then after you do that, then you can be yourself. Mister, don't you go anywhere. And you just feel awkward. You're just not living your truth the way you need to. That means you're going to have to just say, no, I can't do what you want me to do right now. And you may have to pull your energy away from certain people and start finding more of who you are and be able to think more for yourself because my head's going to explode because I'm under pressure. But I understand you do that because you got to cope, because there's a part of you that feels deficient because you were taught or felt that you were indeficient. Don't poop. You just did. I got to wash my floor. Faylene Selsberg. Who do you got? You got some people around that have no empathy, and it's hard to be in. Are you empathy? It's hard to be around when you. Okay, so you're in your dynamics. There's more people that really don't understand empathy. They can talk it, but they don't really walk it. And they said that one of the things that happens is that you're beginning to understand empathy a little bit more, and you're beginning to wake up by listening to the people the way they speak, and you're like, huh. Yes, you probably heard most of them completely correct. Doesn't mean you have to condemn them. You're just supposed to pick up and start finding where you're meant to be and be more of you. And now being an empath also means that you're not supposed to absorb. Stop that. Observe and say, oh, that. And then that's when you can start opening your heart and sending love to some of these situations that can be very hectic. Blanca Leal. There seems to be some insecurity issue that's popping up, and it's tied into distrust and worry, but they're not yours. Are you aware when you pick up other people? They say they need you to begin to learn to observe instead of absorb. There's a party that needs to learn when it's the other people's stuff, and then it's okay to get involved, but your identity starts to change a little bit. And the problem is that you are looking to help them, but you can't solve your own life. And Spirit says, understand that they're there as your aspects, and you need to go inward so that when you begin to heal your life, you actually start to affect other people's in a healthier way. They said that you have to begin to notice that you don't have to be addicted to the stories. They are meant to be there so you can heal the wounds. And then the story can stay the story, or the memory can be just a memory. Get on the right mouse there. Okay. Leah Field, when you feel like you're unmotivated, understand that you don't own the control. It's out there. So one thing I would tell you to do is do Wayne Cook posture. Look it up. It's on my websites too. But Wayne Cook posture will help get you unscrambled, because right now you're unscrambled and the energies are just not moving for you. Didn't I just do you? Yes. Remember, I only do one reading per show. Tomorrow I will do the others. Oh shoot, I probably should scroll down, because now all of a sudden I've got give me a second to catch up. Kay Gaines, she says, I would love to hear any guide messages or readings about when I will be moving to the cabin on the lake. Well, you'll be moving to the cabin on the lake? Yes. Will it be soon? No. There's obstacles, because there's a part of you that the past is repeating itself. What part of the past is repeating itself is you have to go through a strategy. So the strategy is, before I get what I want, I have to go through panic and all this other obstacles and the waiting. So they're saying that you need to disrupt this strategy. If you see your strategy, you have to start tapping out. Oh my God, here we go again. I'm being blocked. Being stopped. Then you need to just heal, to start disrupting that energy field so that you can stop doing it. They said that you have to always do the right thing, always have to do the right thing. Make sure you're not following everybody else's right thing. You get in alignment and what is the right thing. So sometimes people say, well, you got to wait. You can't get married until you save up enough money. Just get married, start doing things. Oh, they were talking about the will. The fifth chakra, you're not being able to own your own voice when you do certain things. All right, I'll do Angela Allen. The word stubborn. They said that stubborn follows you. The old-fashioned way. Okay, here's the understanding. When you're beginning to wake up to who you are, you do not have to follow that word stubborn as a control. When somebody calls you stubborn, usually you say that to your kids because you want them to do what you want to do. But when my husband started calling me stubborn, what he wanted, not the husband I had, but the one before, did it because he couldn't control me. And he was trying everything he can to control me. And I said, no. And then when I finally said no, and I drew the line in the sand, he kept calling me stubborn more and more. I says, no, that's just because I don't want to obey you. Bugger off. And you got to decide whether that word stubborn is going to control you so that you won't be called that. Because that was something that I did. As soon as he did it, I would stop. I don't want to be called that. So I will cooperate. How do you interact with that word is what they're trying to say. And then heal it out. Heal out. Ooh, I hate stubborn. Ooh, I don't. Stubborn is not who I am. I don't want to be called that. And oh, good. Rach Rara. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Gigi. Okay, Spirit is making it difficult. All right, so I'm apparently supposed to scroll. So if you've not had a reading, because Spirit, my eyesight doesn't allow me sometimes to see things, because when I'm in the channeling of this frequency, it's hard for me to see things. This is why I asked for hashtag MWB, the number 4, ME. And then space, and then what you want to talk about, so that I can focus a little bit more. That's what Spirit sees. So if you haven't had a reading, please put that out, and then I will give you a read. I'm just going to double check to make sure nobody is paid for a reading. No, nobody's paid for a reading, so we're good there. I just got to do some. Just remember that after the show, you pay now, and so of $22 for 15 minutes, that is a heck of a deal. And then that'll be taken care of after the show. Just before, just going to double check it again. If anybody wants to read, it's 11 for 11. And that's 11 minutes for $11 or $7 for 6 minutes. We talk about, you're welcome, Angela. Thank you. Yes, thank you. It's all about the teaching and the healing. And understanding how to connect dots. Don't even think about it, Mr. Charlie. Mama sees you. Yes, Mama sees you. Yes, I do. Now, Virginia, I know I already gave you a reading once. I'll give you one more, but that's not going to be a set standard for many people. What are you doing? What you doing? Do you not go over there and chew on my thing? You get back there, little mister. Oh, don't you give me that. You want scratchies? Okay. But no, you're not going over there. That's not turning very well, is it? Oh, yeah, you can. Oh, well, all right. Hello. You want to say hello? Hey, cute. Oh, hi. Did you wave it? Hi. Oh, you show off. Yeah, you're so cute. Mama loves you. Okay, Mama, gotta get back to the show now. Okay. Failing, was it you that said you had spirits in your house? Oh, did you hear him? Hello? Relationships with my kids, please. With your kids. Right now, there's a lot of hopelessness energy that they're going through. And it's their issues. Now, how old are they? Because I really feel that there is markers of past lives that have come up about things that they have to resolve. So the relationship, that interferes with relationships all in general anyways. But there's an engram. I don't know. I feel like whatever, it might be a female, it could be the youngest one, whatever it is in engram, everything equals everything. So I'm 6 years old, 6 months old in the womb. No, after. There was an experience that she felt in the household, and she didn't know what to do with that energy. And yes, children have to learn to cope, pacify. I mean, that's why they got a pacifier. What ended up happening was that it started to relate. So whatever the emotion was, what was going on, she related it to, this is what anxiety is, and I'm supposed to take it in. This is what being self expectations. And see, this is in disapproval. So she's being aware, observed, absorbed, and also her immune system just started to pick up the environment. And again, we have to remember that you're a spirit. It doesn't mean that you wait for your issues to develop until you get older. You pick up frequencies along the way. Oh, it's okay. You can go back, Virginia. If I find it, I'll send it to you. If we're friends, then I can, or I can try to find it and send it through here. When will my third eye open? 14 and 11. Okay. So I'll do a Kim Davis. Well, you panic too much. It's not going to open if you're going to hold old programs. And this old program is from this life. No, it's the part of the paradigm. Have you watched too many scary movies? Have you heard too many scary things? Because until you re-educate yourself from the conditioned process, then why would you want to open it? Because you're going to see spirits. Oh my God. No, that's not even what I don't even have to. I ask spirit, if you're going to show me them, then you need to do it in a way that I don't have to feel like that human wise, it scares the shit out of me. Our eyes are not even created to hold that image, but our third eye is meant to be able to do it by a knowing. When you start tapping into knowing my ego and you use your higher self in your heart, you're going to be able to have that no problem. And they said that you've used it before, but you keep dismissing it because your ego tells you that it has to look a certain way. So you keep creating this hiccup and going backward. And this is where you have to just develop your skills. Oh, good. I'm glad. Virginia says that makes so much sense. All right. You guys have been really great. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all of this. I will hit, because you have, the love button and all that other stuff. And I'm still doing that as far as giving a card. You've shared into groups. I'll give it to you. I'll give you a card, and hopefully it shows up, because if you share it in certain groups that aren't allowed, then I won't know it. But I do my best to give back and give thanks. So let's get me out there. And I am on tomorrow night. Now I'm in Australia, so that means that I started today at noon. That was 2 hours. So it's 2 p.m. right now. So just understand that from 7 hours from now, okay, tomorrow. So whatever 7 hours is now for you, or you count 7 hours to wherever you live, you'll notice that then I will be on at that time, but it will be tomorrow night. So some of you, it is midnight. It'll be morning. Depends on where you're at. I think I just saw a lovely face. Spirit just hollered out your name. I know your name. Yoakum. Spirit says Yoakum's here. I don't see you, but I'm assuming you're here. Yes, you're welcome, and thank you. 6:30, yeah, Central Standard Time. So that's in the morning or at night for you? Yes, Angela, you can. Yes. And the thing is once you start on this path, especially with me, and you stay focused, that you want to heal your shit, you won't go out on a wave and lose yourself. I mean, we all do that. But if you do, and you begin to heal, you get to hang with that bandwidth that I'm in, your life's just going to, and it's going to unfold in such a beautiful way if you allow it. I knew you were here. Yes, Mr. Yoakum. Yeah, that's you. Spirit said, oh, he's here. Just know you're loved from the other side. So that's good. And I'm one of your biggest fans too. Oh, did you hear him? He said hello. Yeah. So hopefully he'll be back. And then again, remember, I'm on tomorrow night, but I'm going to be off because my husband gets off from work. I'm going to honor that because by not being on my show. But I'll be back maybe the 20th earlier. I'm not sure yet. So thank you for the comments. I'm going to read them and enjoy them. And what do I always say? Stay blessed. Well, how do you do this? There we go. It's not ending. Well, you guys get a couple seconds longer. But oh, there we go. Stay blessed.